So when you see and understand what's going on, then you'll see and start to understand why Jesus was talking to them like he was talking to them. Because he had to take them beyond the point of their understanding to bring them back to what he really wanted to tell them. Sometimes you have to take people all the way around the world in a conversation to make an easy point that they couldn't grasp the first time. And so that's why he gave them parable after parable after parable. Because just giving them a straight answer wasn't good enough. If it was, there wouldn't be still questions going on. Why you doing like you doing? So when we see that, you have to understand, when they did the grapes, they had grapes, they brought them in, and there was persons who were designated to stomp on the grapes. Then they changed and they went to a big old buckets that had a press down, and they turned knobs and squeezed the juice out of the grapes. But before they got to that technology, one person was designated to walk on these grapes, crush these grapes. And then when we look at that, there's two things that come from that. One is a crushed grape, and one that's a bruised grape. The crushed grape goes through the complete process. The body of that grape is pressed down, it's crushed out, there's nothing left but the juice. Then you got the bruised grape, who's going through the same process, but the process wasn't completed. So that grape gets shot off in the corner when you step on it. That grape gets forgotten about in the backside when you step on it. So you'll find people who know God and who is willing to learn and grow in God. They've been crushed beyond belief. They don't know nothing else but to give God all they got. They don't know nothing else but to understand, God, I done been through enough that I can't go through nothing else. Here I am. But then you got that bruised grape who gone through the same process, but was never finalized, that was never completed. So then what you have is people who sit up and complain about every little thing. They know God, they know the word, they know what to do, but won't do it. Because they hadn't finished the process. You have bruised folk who get hurt in church and they never try to get healed or delivered. That's that bruised grape in the corner. They sit up and start chaos and lies and fight and act the fool in church. Don't have no problem shooting, don't have a problem acting fool right in church. That's a bruised grape. So we have to understand, are we going to be bruised or are we going to let God complete the process? When we go through our trials and our tests and our situations, that's taking us through the process. Will you endure it and stay into the end, or will you be that grape in the corner? So it allows us to understand that when we see people that are bitter, you know that's a bruised grape. When you see people acting fool, you know that's a bruised grape. When you see folk clown and you just got through falling out, slop on the floor, and then you get up ready to fight, that's a bruised grape. When you see people get up after you know they don't got slain in the spirit and they go through something else contrary to what just happened, that's a bruised grape. So we got to stay in there and be pressed to finality. We got to stay in there and go through the full process of being mature to what we're supposed to be. Because you got to understand, it's not our outside that God wants, it's the inside. So if you don't stay in the bruised grape, you're going to never be what you are on the inside. So he's dealing with them, trying to get their mind to understand what he wants them to understand. Then there's the red grapes. Now the red grapes, when that wine was mature, it was taken more for sacrament and for keeping holy, because it represented the blood. It was red, it represented the blood. So they took that, they didn't use that to make money, they didn't use it as much to do with, because they wanted to use that for the Lord's Supper and stuff like that. So then you get the outer shell. Now when we look at it in that time, the wine was made from the grapes alone. Even now, wine can be strong in alcohol or give you that buzz with no alcohol added. Because it's the grapes and it's the way they're made that the sugar in it alone, when it ferments, it only gets better. So that the fermentation of them grapes just alone can get you buzzed and you think you're drunk. So you got to understand what they was doing with these grapes. So he would take them and he would put them in the wineskin, the juice that was left over. That's why he said you can't take old wineskin and make new. Because in the fermenting process, between the sugar and the fermentation, those wineskins will have to expand.
Yeah.
And once they expand, they have been pressed to the limit. But they was only able to last a little while longer if it had to expand more.
Yeah.
So if you took that out and then put new wine in it, by the time it expanded, it wouldn't make it. So it would turn, it would bust. And then you don't wasted everything that you was trying to do. So it's important that you had to start with new wine and new wineskins. The process had to be done over again every time. It had to be new every time. So